Hello and welcome back to another Thrill Factor video where today I will be ranking my top 25 bucket list coasters. Now these have many different factors based on place, based on airtime, the layout, if other people think it's good, whether it's overhype, underhype. There's a lot of factors into what I consider in this top 25 list. I really hope you guys will like it, and I'm interested in what your guys' top 25 bucket list is. So watch this and put your top 25 in the comments below. So, with a matter of fact, my name is Grayson, this is Thrill Factor, and let's get into it. The first roller coaster on this list at number 25 is Outlaw Run at Silver Dollar City. Now this roller coaster has recently come on this list, that's why it's lower. It's not necessarily that I don't think I'll like it, I just think that compared to a lot of these roller coasters on this list, it doesn't stack up. Yes, it's an RMC and it has topper track, so really it's a wooden coaster. And plus it was the first wooden coaster, or hybrid coaster, whatever you want to call them, that goes upside down 3 times, and the biggest draw for me is riding this at night. Going through the darkness and going through those corkscrews at night, blazing fast. Oh man, can't wait. So that's number 25. Let's take you to number 24. Most of you might get angry at this one, and it's Sky Rush at Hershey Park. Now this reminds me of like Intimidator 305 and Maverick had a baby and put it at Hershey Park. That's how I feel about it. And I've heard that the drop is demented, like it has a little kink to it, so it just keeps on going. And the reason why it's this low, I've also heard that like at the end it just loses its momentum, and I would rather have a roller coaster that's short and keeps on pacing instead of having one that's long and loses its pacing, you know? So that's why it's at 24. But I still think I'll like it. At number 23, we have a ride considered by most to be one of the world's greatest wooden roller coasters. It's at Knott's Berry Farm, and it's Ghost Rider. I just recently watched a POV on it, and it looks amazing. That layout looks so good, and I think you get a lot of airtime, and I really hope you do. And hold up, sorry. I hope you get a lot of airtime on it. My biggest critique is on the POV, the 2023 one. It looks like it was a little bit shaky. Maybe that's because it's a wooden roller coaster and that's how wooden roller coasters are. But I'm still excited to someday go to Knott's Berry Farm and ride it. Let's move on to number 22. At number 22, we have a RMC. It's kind of like Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion, but this one's in Walby, Holland, and this is Untamed. Untamed, I just recently watched a Coaster Studios video. Well, I always watch Coaster Studios videos, but I just watched the one where they went to Walby, Holland, and that station looks amazing, where there's like plants coming down from the ceiling, and it looks really good. The layout, I've heard, has a lot of unique inversions, something that you hadn't seen before on a typical RMC. And also I've heard some compare it to Steel Vengeance. And Steel Vengeance is on this list, but it's higher. But we'll get to that later. So that's 22. At number 21, we have, it's widely considered as the best B&M hyper in the world, and it's Shambhala at Portaventura in Spain. This one has also been on my bucket list for a while. I like that white track on it. And it looks like, again, a great layout, and a great layout that could deliver a lot of airtime. My biggest problem is I hope it's not overhyped for me. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I just don't want it to get into my head and me think it's lower. So anyway, at number 20 we have the new for 2023 Two Tatis at Parc Asterix in France. Now, I've heard this is better than Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg in Virginia, but I've also heard that at the top of that top hat there's a trim and it really kills the ride. I really hope that doesn't like take away from my experience. But once again, who likes trims? You know. But that's number 20. So at our number 19 spot, we have Do the Dampo at Fuji-Q Highlands in Japan. This has been in my bucket list forever. I've seen it on books, videos, travel network, everywhere, and I've heard that this launch is like none over 102 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. This is a ride for me. I love launches, and this one, you know, I have no other words. It will be awesome. So at our number 19 spot, we have Do the Dampo at Fuji-Q Highlands in Japan. This has been in my bucket list forever. I've seen it on books, videos, travel network, everywhere, and I've heard that this launch is like none over 102 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. This is a ride for me. I love launches, and this one, you know, I have no other words. It will be awesome. Let's keep the themes with launch coasters, shall we? This one's a kind of like a one-trick pony. It's also the world's tallest coaster at the time I'm filming this. It's King Dakar at Six Flags Great Adventure. This roller coaster, again, been on my bucket list for at least since I was like 7 or 8, and just seeing that 400-foot tall tower instills fear in a lot of people, but I don't think it will in me. Just looks amazing. Time to go to our number 17 spot. Number 17, we have the original 4D model from Aerodynamics, or as I like to call it, the Bankruptor. We have X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. We have at least one more of these on our list, and I've heard that it's better, but X2, the prototype, I want to go ride that first. And like the seats move as you're going through inversions, so they just keep on moving, but they're more stagnant, I guess, than Edgenica, but still would be a great experience. So that's my number 17 coaster. Number 16, we're going back to Europe, and we're gonna go to Kolmarden. And if you know anything about Kolmarden, it's basically just a zoo. You see some animals, but then if you walk all the way to the back of the park, there's Wildfire, and this again is a topper track RMC, so just like Outlaw Run. And I've heard this one is the best topper track RMC out there. I don't think it provides as much airtime, but the layout is great. You see that spiral lift as you're going over the drop. If only I could get there somewhere. I would marathon that ride so many times. So at our number 15 spot, we have Terran from Phantasialand in Germany. And this, I've said this a lot, especially on this list. All these rides look amazing, but this one looks stunning too. And it goes from the front of the trains with the ram on it. We have the rock work behind it, how it just weaves in and out with all the snappy transitions. Kind of reminds me of Maverick, which, spoiler, is number 14, we have another RMC. This one used to be called White Cyclone at Nagashima Spa Land, and this one is Hokuge. It just looks so daunting, and the setting where it is with the white and blue, and how the blue track just matches the Japanese sky, it just looks amazing. I think it's the most photogenic coaster out there. And again, this thing is massive. Like, it looks bigger than Iron Gwazi, and it probably has more structure, like wooden structure, than Iron Gwazi does. But this, again, looks phenomenal, and can't wait to go to Japan and go ride. Number 13, another ride from Six Flags Great Adventure. This one is actually right next door to King the Ka, and this is El Toro, another Intamin. This is a Intamin prefab, so that means that they made the track and they didn't make it on site. They made it in the factory and then shipped it over. So this prefab has been ranked as one of the best roller coasters in the world, and I'm sure it's remarkable. I've heard the pacing is good. I know that people have gotten injured on this ride, but I still want to go. Like, nothing's gonna hold me back. And that's all that I have to say for El Toro. At number 12, we have Top Thrill 2. Now, saying that name sounds weird. I would rather just refer to it as Dragster, but I guess now I have to go with Top Thrill 2. This would have been higher if it was still how it was before the accident, but I guess the spike is fine in going 128 miles per hour. They were going for the world record, but I guess Falcon Flight kind of stole that one. Anyway, there's not really much to say about this one. Why wouldn't it be on my list? If you're an enthusiast, haven't been to Cedar Point, this has got to be on your bucket list. Anyway, moving on to 11, just outside the top. At our number 11 spot, Sarah from Coaster Studios is probably going to be mad at me for this, but Ride to Happiness in Colossal Land at Belgium. Ride to Happiness looks great. The reason why I didn't put Time Traveler on this list is because Ride to Happiness looks better. It has more uncontrollable moments. Like, yes, Time Traveler. The thing about Time Traveler is that there's the little disc on the bottom, and it doesn't like let it free spin. While this one actually free spins. Like, you want to talk about SNS free spins? Yeah, no. This is like the real deal, and I want to go get a ticket, go to Belgium, go to Colossal Land just for this. Enough said. We're at our top 10. These are the best of the best. The rides that I'm most considering. Like, any of these, I would be happy on, but number 10 through 1 would be like a likelihood of keep on marathoning. At our number 10 spot, we have Zadra from Energylandia in Poland. This ride just looks massive, it's daunting. You look at Iron Gwazi, Steel Vengeance, Wildfire, you look at all these, and Zadra just with, like, if you have a cloudy day and Zadra's just there, oh, that skyline is going to be perfect. And I've heard that it's relentless. There's not as much airtime moments, but I think it will be okay. And the pacing is great, so why wouldn't I? At our number 9 spot, we have a B&M Fly Coaster. People would probably get upset with this, but Top Zoom at Six Flags Magic Mountain is in my top 10. The reason why is, if you've ever been on Manta, Superman, Clones, whatever flying coaster, this one is bigger, the pretzel loop is enormous, and I think it may also stunning, and that's probably why I am attracted to it, and that's why it's at 9. At number 8, we have another Intamin on this list. It's at the Universal Islands of Adventure Resort in Orlando, Florida. It's none other than Velocicoaster. The reason why I put Velocicoaster as high as I did, and there's still one more Intamin on here. 2 more actually. So, the reason why I put Velocicoaster over Terran. Yes, Terran has the rock work and snappy transitions, but this one tells more of a story, and I think I'd much rather take theming in a story other than just theming. And I know people have this debate all the time, would Velocicoaster still have the crowds that it would, that it does already if we took out all the theming? And I don't think it would, but we're talking about the ride right now, and it looks amazing, especially the Mosasaurus roll. Let's go into the top 7. At our number 7 spot, I think this ride really started to take Vekoma, modern day Vekoma, to the next level. They said they're done with SLCs. They're done with boomerangs. They're done with bad rides. So then they decided to make FLY or Fly at Fantasialand. This ride looks amazing. Again, I put Tatsu in here, and that's a B&M. People complain about how forceful B&Ms are. And we have Vekoma Flyer. And this one was the first of its type. And I've heard remarkable things about it. It's got good theming. It wraps around Rookburg, which is the land that it's in. It has its own storyline. It has just, I can't say much more. It just looks like a great roller coaster. And I want to go to Ride Fly. At number 6, surprisingly, we only have one roller coaster from, actually 2, sorry, forgot about Top Thrill 2. This is the second roller coaster from Cedar Point, and it might be the best one there, to be determined. This is Stale Vengeance at Cedar Point. The setting on this thing, again, we have Hakuge, big blue and white structure in Japan. We have Steel Vengeance, brown track, Mean Street Wood on Lake Erie. And this just gets as good as it gets. I know people complain about the repetitious moments. I don't care. I want to go get ejected on Steel Vengeance. Enough said. So we're in our top 5, and funny enough, only one of these is from the US, and it's a good one. We have The Voyage from Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. Now, The Voyage has been ranked number 1 wooden coaster all time. Holiday World does great with their wooden coasters with Raven, Legends, and I just want to go to that park in general, but Holiday World hit it out of the park with The Voyage. They host coaster events on it. They even have a thing called Hollywood Nights for coaster enthusiasts to go ride Voyage at night, and I've heard it's amazing. And I'm done with people yapping in my face about it. It's just not cool. Let me go experience it myself. So, we're down to top 4. We have another new for 2023 Intamin LSM launch coasters. Now, we talked about back with Tutados how the trim hurt the rod, but on Gotham City Escape in Parque Winter Madrid, they hit it right with this one. I've heard people say that trims are bad. Oh my gosh. Stop with the trims. But I think it works better on this one. When you go over the top hat, it just holds you there for a second. And then it lets go and you still get the same speed. Like, Tutados, Pantheon, all these okay Intamin coasters lack one thing, and it's them keeping momentum. And I think Gotham City Escape takes the cake on keeping pacing. Also, it is themed to Batman, one of the best DC characters of all time, so why not ride it? Our number 3 spot is in a land far, far away, down under, and people say it's overhyped. I think it could be overhyped, and I want to go experience it for myself. It's another DC coaster, and it's none other than DC Rivals at Movie World Australia. No, it's Movie Park Australia, sorry. This ride just looks great. Purple track, Joker's emblem above the drop as you go down, and then that non-inverting loop. That just looks like you get whipped around, and it looks fun. Also, I like the theming around it. It's not like Disney level. It's not like Six Flags. It's like in the middle, but it compares all of the DC Rivals, hence the name DC Rivals, and it looks good. I definitely would try it in the back row though. Even if I have to pay money for it, I would try it. Enough said. In our number 2 spot, we have Taiga in Leninmaki, Sweden. This roller coaster looks absolutely amazing. Again, it's kind of like Terran. I know I've referenced this ride a lot, but it's like Terran, but outside of the theming. And I've heard that it's better. I like that blue and black track. I like how it's just on the hillside, and I don't even know how they managed to fit this thing up there. It's really stunning. I like the Firebird on the train, not to be confused with the trash Firebird at Six Flags America. But that's number 2. We only have 1 more left. But first, before I reveal my top bucket list, I want to remind you of something. At the end of this video, there will be a QR code that will take you to my merch store, where you can get shirts, you can get hoodies, hats now, and why wouldn't you represent Thrill Factor, the best roller coaster channel in the game? Just support the team, and also like, subscribe, and share, so I can put out more content for you guys. It will really help the channel, and any money that I get from merch, Patreon, YouTube will go back and make videos better, so you guys can come back and watch. Our number 1 spot, I went back and forth on Taiga and this number 1. I already gave it away with X2, and this number 1 is N Janaika in Fuji-Q Highland at Japan. This ride looks like X2 but on steroids, and SNS made this one, so it didn't make them go out of business, you know? They perfected the prototype, they did it, I've heard it's smoother, so any problems that X2 had were cleaned up on this one, and yeah, so there you have it. You have my top 25 bucket list roller coasters. I want to get to these